YouTube, going to give you a little update of the Kelly Kapowski tank. Now maybe if we feed these guys, they'll be a little bit more amenable to being on camera. What is in this tank is a fairly large group of Lucas's tiger Endlers and about 30 shrimp. Now, sometimes you can see the shrimp and sometimes you can't. They're pretty small. And there's one right in the center of the screen on that rock. The Endlers seem to be doing just fine. Now this is a 12-gallon rimless Mr Aqua tank. One of the many things that I've absconded with when Jim sold this stuff off to move out to the West Coast. I did get my photographer friend, my new photographer friend, to come and basically he did a shoot himself and I watched him and I've got the images, and in most image programs now you can see the settings of each shot. So I've learned enough to see what it is that I probably should be shooting. Now this tank, if you guys remember, Jim kept Kelly Kapowski in this tank. And there's a dead shrimp. Looks like I had one jump and crawl out. I can't see it. Won't focus. So there's one that I lost that I was unaware of until just now. This tank was Kelly Kapowski's tank, and it was mostly a sand bottom. I also got a 10-gallon tank from Jim. And it was mostly eco-complete. It took me about 6 hours to get these fish and shrimp and tanks home, but I left water, a certain amount of water in this tank, and I did so because I wanted to keep a little bit of the bacteria that was in the sand in the bottom of this tank, and also the 10-gallon tank, the Eco-Complete. I wanted to keep enough of the bacteria alive so that when I reset this tank up and cycled it, it would already have a lot of the beneficial bacteria still functioning. Jim sent a lot of plants home with me. So you can see the bottom of this tank is a mixture of the sand that was already in the tank when Kelly Kapowski the crawfish was in it. And it is also has a great deal of Eco-Complete poured on top of it. And there's a lot of people that don't like using Eco-Complete on top of other bases because Eco-Complete has larger and finer granules in it, and by nature it settles and it will cap the top of whatever else it's on top of. So it's kind of a mixed bag here as to whether this is a good setup or a bad setup. but I kind of just ran with it because I was trying to combine a couple of tanks of shrimp and put them in this tank. The flow that's in this tank, Jim also gave me you can kind of see right there. This has a Eheim canister on it with lily pipe output and input on one end of the tank, and the tank has the Marineland LED strip that came with my wife's 75 on top of it. It was way too weak to keep the 75 lit, but for this tank it works out pretty well because this tank is so shallow that it pretty much lights it up. And you can see there's a lot of moss. There are a lot of shrimp in this tank. Most of the surviving shrimp are cherries. Looks like since I found that one sitting on the counter, it looks like I've lost 4 total shrimp since I got these guys. I kind of goofed up. If you watched my acclimation video, I actually added 2 different bags of water from 2 different tanks at the same time together, and that was probably a mistake. I think that caused me to have as much problems as anything else. When I acclimated these guys, I acclimated 2 bags of shrimp from different tanks and different water together, and I think a great deal of the issues that I've had with this tank so far, and I haven't had that many issues, but I think that that's probably where some of my issues came from. Now, my photographer friend told me that what I really needed, the reason I was having problems with getting decent shots from this camera, it was, of course, not the equipment, it was the operator's choices, and he suggested highly that I get a light to put on my camera, and so I have my Viltrox L132T LED adjustable 3500 Kelvin to 6000 Kelvin shoe light on now, and it does seem to be giving me a great deal better picture. I can see the colors. I can see that I'm getting a clearer representation of what I'm looking at. But I just kind of wanted to give you a little update on the Kelly Kapowski tank. Kelly Kapowski has gone to a young lady up in Ohio, and this is the tank that she was in when Jim had it, and as you can tell, it no longer has crawfish in it. It is now a compilation of Endlers, Lucas's Tiger Endlers, which are gorgeous fish. It's been a long time since I've kept live bears, but these are gorgeous fish. Jim gave me 2 pair and then a bunch of babies, and the babies are doing fine. The females and males are doing fine. I've actually gotten a few more babies to drop, but all in all, this tank is doing fairly well. Now, it's a 12-gallon, so I'm a little bit cautious about how I do my water changes, and so far so good. Although like I said, with this light on, I just found one shrimp that crawled out of the tank, unfortunately, and I have fished 3 dead ones out of the tank since they first went in. So I'm probably below 30 shrimp in the tank now, but so far so good. So there's an update. Good luck, YouTube.